Hey y'all, Angelo Amato here, writer, producer, director of my full feature film Max, which is a inspirational love story involving a character with autism. You can find that on YouTube by simply searching Max and Angelo Amato Film. And on that channel, you'll find this video and other videos like it. If you want to like and subscribe, I've been doing videos dealing with low-budget filmmaking and ways in which you can possibly make your own film. In my last segment, I spoke a bit about we spoke about casting and establishing. Also, the most recent video was dealing with establishing locations. And so let's say now you have that done. You have your cast, you have your screenplay, you have locations that have been established. And so all of that is set up. And now you have to do your very important shoot schedule, which is very important. First thing that I would say is, especially if you're someone who lives in the Northeast, or someplace where the weather changes, I strongly recommend, let's say here in the Northeast, filming in the summertime. And I realize that in the summer it can be hot. That's the downside, but there are just too many upsides. You have longer days, right? More sunlight. So for your exterior shots, you're not pressed on time. And then there's just also the weather. And when I say the weather, yes, it can be hot, but there is no other time of year where you have not only the hours of sunlight, but also, very little in the way of rain. And also the air is just, it's the calmness, because you're going to find, let me just first say that I strongly recommend, before trying to do a full film, that you do a short film. Because there's just so much I learned by doing my short film, which was entitled Coming Home, which you can also find on this channel. There is just, sound. Sound is so important, and you can have great equipment, but even with great equipment, you always have to be mindful of sound. And yes, you have equipment in which you can do things that will somewhat block wind and things like that, but there does come a point where even with the best equipment, the weather can play a major role. Wind, rain, all of that. So to have a time of year where you have long periods of sunlight and the weather is calm, you don't want to film in direct sunlight on people's faces. That too is something that I think that you start to learn with experience. At first thought, it might be like, oh, you got the light in people's face. You don't want to do that. You definitely want shade on people's faces. But again, the summer, just there are many benefits to filming in the summer, especially the longer, calm sunlight. So you have all that other stuff established. You have your screenplay, you have your actors, so you have your cast, you have your locations, and now you want to work out a shoot schedule. And, films are not generally filmed in order. They're filmed totally out of sequence, which is why it's so important to be organized. Every scene that you shoot, you have to ask yourself, okay, where are we in the story, right? Where are we coming from at this point in the story? What has previously happened? And, so you really want to be organized in your shoot schedule when it comes to things like wardrobe. You can have a situation where there can be an absolute disaster where, people are supposed to be dressed a certain way based on the previous scene, because again, it's filmed all out of sequence. So you really have to be organized. If you have a location where there are two separate scenes, but they're in the same place, you're going to want to film those scenes together, even though in the film they're taking place totally different times, because you don't want to set up, then pack up, then come back another day. So, you have to work out. This is the as far as organizing, this is one of the most crucial things, is you really have to think of all your locations. You have to think of your actors' availability. and you really have to plan out a solid, realistic shoot schedule, and really think about how many scenes you can realistically get done in a single day, right? And when you're doing that, it's not an exact science. And so you have to think about the complexity of each scene and ask yourself realistically, how many scenes can I get done in a given day? And again, that depends on the complexity of the scenes. But I did tend to find that I was able to get done roughly 2 to 3 scenes a day. But again, you really have to think about the complexity of the scenes. You could have a scene that's so complex that you might need numerous days just for that one scene. So careful planning is so crucial in your the planning out of your shoot schedule. Be organized is the best advice that I can give, considering your locations, considering your actors' availability, and wardrobe, all those different things. And again, this gets back to the importance of numbering your scenes. Don't just number the pages in your screenplay, okay? I spoke a bit more about this in a previous segment on how to write a screenplay, tips on how to write a screenplay. I had there are two videos on that, numbered, 1 of 2, 2 of 2 on this channel. But the importance of numbering your scenes is so important for your shoot schedule, okay? And just try to be as organized as you can with that, okay? Thank you very much. Please consider liking and subscribing to this channel for more advice on giving a shot to your low-budget film. Thank you. Have a great day.